recently I got a phone call from a local video game store advising me that my husband had won a new game console from a store contest. Though I found out that my husband hadn't really won a contest, but had conspired with the assistant store manager to deceive me.
The way that I got it is this store had, it was a lottery.
I won an in-store lottery for a PS5 in 2020. Yeah, okay. It was a bloodbath out there. You killed a man for that.
We're the Wonderful, a journey into the minds of strange people doing strange things. I'm James, and each week we wade into the waters of the human psyche, from cult leaders to Craigslist creeps, trying to figure out what drives people to act on the weirdest parts of themselves, and whether any of us are really as normal as we think.
Damn. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Gave it some sauce in the cult leaders, Craigslist creeps part. And
you got to hit that.
Trying to figure it out.
Brother.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And David at
Jesus.
DCM.
Oh my God.
McNeil
what is happening?
at Zero Indent.
What is going on?
What's your at?
My at?
Yeah. Give me your at.
At DC McNeil Writes is where you find me personally. But Zero Indent is where I make shows and talk on the internet about genre fiction.
And David, we've got a couple of you hit me with too many ads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was too many ads, and they were sentences long. You know, DCM likes to write about fantasy and it's like, okay, dude. And then Zero Indenticles. It's like, fuck me. All right, that's a lot to remember.
I want to point out that it's 11 a.m. on a Friday, and you are hitting me with the most diabolical energy. Now that we're officially going, you've completely flipped on me.
No.
Yes, dude, you have. We were in a really good. We were sitting in the pocket. We were in it, and then the second that you did your intro,
I don't know, dude. Yeah, I know. Get better handles,
changed.
I think, would probably be my takeaway. You know?
Can I tell you that I almost did 3? Because there's technically 3 places where you can find me.
What's the third?
Under Ink Press. That's my publication.
A man of many ats.
A man of many Digimons.
And David, we've got a couple of regular people doing very regular things, and they're looking for help with their totally regular lives and their situations. And I thought that maybe, who best to bring it to really than a regular guy to help them with their regular problems?
I'm just a regular Joe. End of
Goldberg.
Okay.
From you. Thank you for not wearing the cap today.
One of my exes was watching, when we were together, she was watching you, and she turns to me in bed and she goes, "It's really weird. You kind of sound like Joe."
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like
what do you
tonality and cadence, or do you mean like?
Yeah, well, she did elaborate, and she's like, "Oh, you're just both very wordy, and you sort of have like a kind of literary tendency to the way that you speak." And I was like, "Yeah, good recovery, babe." Like, fucking hell. I also think she was like kind of alluding to the fact that Joe is quite he feels very superior to everyone around him, and he has this intellectual superiority that he feels for no other reason than he's just read a bunch of books. Right. And I was a bit like that at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think that was an inaccurate read. I've changed, James.
And when was this? What year was this?
Like 2019.
Wow. Okay. A lot of inflection points at around 2019, huh?
Yeah, buddy.
A lot of branching paths, sort of immediately following 2019.
Don't know why. Nothing in particular happened.
Dear David, recently, I got a phone call from a local video game store advising me that my husband had won a new game console from a store contest.
Okay.
I immediately called my husband. He was so excited to pick up his prize. Soon after that, though, I found out that my husband hadn't really won a contest, but had conspired with the assistant store manager to deceive me.
What?
It turns out he actually paid for the console, but didn't want me to know. When I confronted him about the lie, he screamed, denying it, even after I had proof. Okay. After admitting the truth, he then flipped it on me and said that because I couldn't afford to buy him a nice birthday gift, he had the store call me about the contest in hopes that I would pick up the game system and pass it off as a gift from me.
What?
So
Wait,
he's bought it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, now call my wife and tell her that I've won it.
Yeah.
And then that way I get to have it, but she doesn't know that I've paid money for it.
Right, but what was the last bit? He was hoping that she would pretend it was a gift from her?
He had the store call me about the contest in hopes that I would pick up the game system and pass it off as a gift from me.
His hope, this is crazy. So he's basically like, I'll convince the store clerk to call her, tell her that I've won this console. She'll pick it up, and then she'll pretend it was a gift from her to me.
Okay, right.
That's crazy.
True,
Bananas.
because he is saying like, well, you couldn't afford to like buy me a nice birthday gift, so I was just sort of hoping that you would get this and then you would try and just make it a gift for me.
Insane.
Buy little presents for myself. Oh, what? A PS5 for me? From whom?
For moi? That's nuts.
Now he's decided that he no longer wants to speak to me or have anything to do with me. Shouldn't I be the one who's angry about his lies and deceit?
This is wild. Okay. Yes, I think.
Yeah. First of all, yes.
Before we get into it, yeah, you're fine. You're correct. Okay, I can kind of understand the initial lie, sort of him being like, I just want to play. I just really want to play FIFA Ultimate Team with the boys. My wife, maybe she doesn't make a bunch of money. Maybe she has a job she loves. Maybe that's something that's just like part of our marriage. And this was going to be a complicated thing. And this was one of those lies that make a marriage a little bit simpler. And I can understand how you get there. Two, the second part of it, to then be like, yeah, I was actually really hoping that you would pick it up and then pretend it was a gift from you, that's the part I would be like, I'm dating a psychopath. That makes no sense.
Is that not a sign that like...
This seems like a symptom of something larger. This to
Always.
me feels like... Because, okay, don't get me wrong. PlayStation 5s, I bought mine when it came out. I think it was in like 2020? For like... Or 20, yeah, whenever that was. For like...
Whoa. Flex, by the way. Cast your mind back to 2020, okay, when everyone was locked up, everyone was inside, everyone was like scrounging for video game consoles, particularly the PS5. It was grim. It was grim.
The way that I got it is there was a video game store. I'm not going to say the name because no free rides. So the way it worked is this store had it was a lottery. They would text you if they had stock that they'd allocated to you, and you had 48 hours to go in and pick it up.
And so weird. They actually, crazy at the time. I was living with my girlfriend and I'd accidentally put her number on the account. And anyway, me and the store manager cooked up a bit of a scream. Yeah. Okay, I see where this is going.
And
yeah. I won an in-store lottery for a PS5 in 2020. Yeah, okay. It was a bloodbath out there trying to get a PS5 in 2020. You think you won? You think you're going to come here and convince anybody that you got a PS5 from a raffle?
Not, like, literally.
You killed a man for that.
You murdered a man for that. I get a text message at 2 p.m. on a Monday afternoon, and I texted my boss, and I was like, Sam, I'm going to need to use sick leave for the rest of the day. I've got to go pick up a PS5. And you know what he responded with? He went, dude, I get it.
He texted you back the salute emoji and said, go with God, brother. Yeah.
And I was flying to Melbourne the next day for work. So I get it. I leave the office. I'm in the city and I need to get to our side of town. I get an Uber from the office to my apartment to get in my car. I walk in, I have my phone. I show the guy at the counter my receipt. He goes, oh, that's crazy. You're so lucky. I haven't even had a chance to get one.
Yes, come into the back room. Come into the stock room with me quickly.
Literally, there was a half a beat where he's like, oh, man, like I haven't even had a chance to get one yet. You're so lucky. And I was like,
he's trying to like, yeah, dude, he's trying to like simp you out into like, totally. What am I going to turn around and go, well, do you want it? Why? I mean, I guess.
Dude,
are you sure you don't want it? It's like, it's 2020 PS5. Of course you want. No, it's cool, man. It really sounds like you want it. I guess I'll give it to you. Like, what's the play there?
I've never in my life swiped my credit card so quickly and walked back to my car so quickly. And I realized as I got home that...
Sorry, you paid for it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The raffle was to draw the ability to come and buy one?
Yeah, dude. Did I not make that clear?
That's insane.
Yeah, dude.
That's insane.
Yeah, dude.
Because now I'm recontextualizing. Because if you were like, I want a PS5.
No.
I need to leave work right now.
No, I want the opportunity
my mom's dead or something. Whatever. I'm leaving. I'll be back tomorrow. Like out the door, grabs the coat, running, sprinting through the city to get to JB. And it's like, oh no, I just, they texted me and said, yeah, you can come in and buy one if you want. Are you out of your mind?
It was the only way to get one.
Okay.
And I realized as I was driving home that and while I'm driving home, I'm on a like Zoom call for work or whatever.
The biggest smile. They said, David, is this like
what's going on?
Is there a filter on or something? You've had that smile on your face for 45 straight minutes.
And at that time, the internet in my apartment I was living in wasn't great, and I realized that it was going to take like 10 hours to install Demon Souls. And my flight the next day was at like 10 a.m. And I did the math and I was like, I'm not going to be able to play this thing till I get back next week. And I shit you not, I sat there and I stared at this box and I went, could this come with me to Melbourne?
Yeah. Searching through like EB games. Yeah. Do they have carry cases for these fucking things? Or like, how is anyone supposed to travel to Melbourne with one?
I didn't take it with me to Melbourne, but I should have. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my PS5 experience. What I'm saying is I empathize with the madness around this box. You know what I mean?
So as I guess the person that wrote this in, I guess you can see that not unlike the One Ring, the power of the PS5, particularly in 2020, was very corrupting.
Oh, the straight male mind was not ready for it, let me tell you.
Really, when you think about it, like 2020, the male human mind was still sunsetting on the idea of a PS4. You know, the fact that there was a new one with more improved graphics, a new Spider-Man game.
Mm-hmm.
Untenable. Yeah,
absolutely. And look, I'm not proud of it. It is the situation it was the situation that families live in, and sometimes, James, you have to react to the situation you're in, and you have to not judge yourself for how you react. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And sometimes in that moment, you conspire with a local gaming store manager to get your hands on, again, the all-corrupting PS5.
Mm-hmm.
And while a lot of people would say it's not that deep, this is emblematic of deeper issues.
Yeah, this is the kind of like this is the level of deception that any normal person wouldn't like. You might have the thought of like, oh, this is going to be a conversation later if I buy this fucking thing. But then what you would do is you would go to your wife and you'd be like, hey, so I had a really intrusive thought about the fact that I want to buy a PS5 and it might be I just need to figure this out because you know, you're like any normal person would have the thought,
because I've conspired to do this, and then fully tells her that when you're coming clean, don't tell them what the plan was.
No.
Okay, just do the communication part. You know, tell them about how you're feeling, not the insane direction those feelings had led you in. Yes.
Well, like literally, so my friend, shout out to Kieran. My friend Kieran literally was in this situation where he's like, I want to buy a PS5. My wife doesn't like when I play video games. She's like, so I just had a conversation with her about it. And we just set a bunch of like boundaries and ground rules about this to make sure that it worked for both parties. And now he owns a PlayStation 5 and it's fine. And it was like a healthy, normal relationship.
And when he gets to play it for 30 minutes at 2:30 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon and no other times, those 30 minutes mean so much more. You know, it's the restraint, you know, really it's PS5
you've made it sound sort of sexual.
Yeah. It's sexual in nature. It really is, you know. So, dear David, my husband and I are moving across country to start a new life in the Canadian Rockies.
Oh.
We're ditching our corporate lives for something more active, social, and fun.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's like a cool, you know.
That's so fun.
It's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
It's a cool energy. I think maybe given the fact they're saying that they're moving across country to a new life in the Canadian Rockies probably assumes that they're leaving the US. And I would say great time to do it.
Great time to do it. Probably, yes.
I like my given name, but it's common. And I'd always hoped that I'd earn a nickname along my life's travels. But alas, I never did.
They've come to the right people.
So now I'm considering creating a nickname for myself.
Okay, that's not how that works, but
Well, I'm sick of waiting on the world, friend. Okay, and now it is time to bequeath myself with one.
sort of a giving John Mayer James.
What's that in reference to?
Waiting on the world to change. You know how he says that one?
No.
Waiting on the world
No.
to change.
Nope.
You know how he says
And
that one?
unfortunately, no one with taste does
You know that one?
know that one.
Okay.
So
Very,
not.
very famous song, but that's okay.
I'd like my new nickname to be something fun and based on my initials.
Okay.
My husband told me that it would be an affectation. So I looked up the word affectation and read behavior, speech, or writing that is artificial and designed to impress. So he thinks I'm being fake and looking to impress people. Maybe I am. What do you think? ? And that's from Bored with Michelle.
Wow.
I love putting the comment from the husband in there and then giving us the full play-by-play. He said this. I fucking didn't know what that meant. I looked it up. I found out. I got pissed. Fuck him, right? Anyway, I'm bored with Michelle.
I also enjoy the delay of like, you don't know what the word means, so you have to Google it, and then you get to be angry. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you come back in like 20 minutes later because I was doing some stuff, so I didn't really get around to it right away.
I didn't really get it. I was doing the laundry. What am I gonna? Come on. Now this is very funny because I was expecting the question to be, here are my initials. Come up with a nickname. That is not what this question ended up being.
No.
Because we famously, I've had many monikers. The DMAC is the contemporary. DCMI hit Pi, of course, back in the day when we first met. That was the.
You're just doing right, but these are just handles, right?
Yeah.
She can't rock around calling herself like Ecstasy Slayer Triple X 77. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you might have pitched that too hard. Is the problem because that popped off.
could you though?
Could you though?
90s is in, and having an online handle in the 90s, that's what it was all about. You know,
Exactly.
You were creating your Hotmail, you were on MSN, you know, you had to have like a cool nickname or just the name, you know, Steve, but like written in cool digital characters. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So this is very 90s, which is very on trend, I think. So maybe we reinvent the nickname and it's just gamer tags.
That's kind of where my mind went initially because I feel like at the time in the 90s there was your handle went one of two ways. It was either like to what you're saying, something really cool and like abstract, or it was just like first dot last name dot 93 or whatever. You know, like
Oh yeah.
so like
yes.
because that could also be fun. You could go really like because the risk. Okay, I have to be real with you. The risk of coming up with your own nickname is that you might end up making some of the mistakes I've made, where you full ass walk up to another human being and say, I'd like you to now please call me Raven from now on. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So
Yes.
you gotta be
forgot
careful
about the Raven Chronicles, of course.
you have to be careful with this one.
Why do you think I changed my name to Raven in grade 11? I was trying to change my shit. Like, that's why kids do that
And why do
shit.
you think I changed it back to David in grade 12?
I wanted to have sex.
Shit didn't go down.
Yeah, I was trying to get laid. It wasn't working with Raven.
Oh. Turns out, and this is another piece of advice for everyone listening, no one wants to fuck Raven.
True. It turns out no one wants to fuck David. That's a whole nother problem.
Oh, that's so David.
Yeah.
Um,
Fuck you. That's too funny for this goddamn show.
Because you might
Yes.
Icarus style fly too close to the sun
yeah.
if you make it too cool.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's the problem. Yeah, that was the problem with going up to people and saying, hey, guys. What's up, Mark? Cool hat today, man. So I've been doing a lot of thought. I did watch Digimon this morning on Cheese TV, yes. No,
Yes,
I
I
didn't see
did.
the last 10 minutes, so I didn't get to see the Digi-Evolution. Thank you very much, okay? And that's literally the only point I like watching the show for. And it's the same problem with DBZ, because you start watching it, and then it's like, I want to see the fight, and I just see like 15 fucking minutes of
Yeah,
these
'cause
two
then
like
you're
screaming
gonna
and
go
doing
school.
build-up.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to fucking school. So again, thank you. But anyway, guys, I've been thinking David is just so played. Too biblical, really, for my liking. I'm going pretty atheist. I'm sort of getting into some pagan shit right now. I'm 12. And I know that That's So Raven did just come out, so it's bad timing because I've been thinking about this for longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about Raven? And when I say what do you think about, I mean just call me that now.
Just call me that now. Thank you.
Just
Please and
refer to
thank
me
you.
as Raven.
Please and thank you. I do love the phrase. Next time someone's like, "Hey, what's
No,
up?"
Jared, not Quoth the Raven. No, guys, I will not stand for any Edgar Allan Poean jokes. Okay, nevermore. All right, fuck you guys. I'll be back at morning tea.
I am. When people ask me how I'm doing, I am going to start saying, "Ah, man, I'm good. I'm just getting into paganism." I'm gonna start using that. That's actually really, really like that. Yeah, so you've well demonstrated the issue with coming up with your own nickname. I do want to address the notion that the husband is like, this is fake or whatever. It's like, brother, names are made up anyway. What are you talking about?
It also depends what sort of direction you're taking it in. You know what I mean? Because like this person's name's Michelle. It's like, do they want their nickname to be like Shelly, Mimi, Mick?
Mick,
are
L?
we just going with like a cool new different name? Shell's Bells.
Shell's Bells, Shell's Kills.
Yeah. Shell's Kills?
I was thinking if
because Shell's Bells is like Hell's Bells.
I was thinking like gamer tag, Call of Duty.
Not like Michelle Massacre or something. Is that what you mean? Kind of like a...
That's better. I'm going to... let's go with that.
Because, like, quite frankly, a lot of these are really just like Michelle Massacre. That sounds like a roller derby name.
That's true. Yeah, Michelle Massacre sounds like a monster truck. So here's the thing. It feels like the husband might be projecting a bit. Or she's assuming that he meant affectation in a negative way. Like he might have just been being descriptive because it is an affectation.
Right. But I mean, like, I think I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah.
But like, you got to think of all the context here where she's saying we're moving across country, we're leaving our corporate lives. We're looking for something more active, social and fun. Right. This is so clearly identity based. And this person is like, who even am I? And I hate the name Michelle. I want a whole new identity for myself. I'm changing career. I'm changing where I live. Fuck it. Let's change the name too. This is someone that wants to like shed their identity. Mm-hmm. So, or is maybe feeling a little lost in maybe who they are. Right. Yeah. So maybe approach that with a sensitivity.
So a delicacy.
And we use, maybe we use different terms that don't say like, it sounds fake and artificial and designed to like you're trying to impress.
Yeah, you sound like a fake bitch.
Exactly. Or is that intentional where he's like, well, if she's casting off the shackles of her old life, is that me too? Is that like nicknames are stupid. Like don't reinvent every part of yourself because then maybe you don't need me. Maybe that's his insecurity coming to play.
See, that would make a lot of sense to me because I feel like the other difficulty with this is, and I say this, I'm going to use the word difficulty loosely here because I do want to like say a serious thing in a second, but it does occur to me that like, yeah, he's kind of, this feels like it's all about him and has nothing to do, like,
yes.
He's not actually addressing, and again, we don't know this is the problem with the internet, is we don't have the full context, but it really feels like he hasn't actually addressed the issue and he's just in his feelings about this. And he's like, because your reading on that, I think, is like, that would make total sense to be like, well, I'm part of that old life. Maybe maybe she'll cast me off as well. Plus, in a social setting, let's say they make new friends, they have a dinner party or whatever. Is he going to be calling her Michelle and everyone else is calling her like Mickey or whatever? Isn't that going to be weird? I don't know.
Exactly. And I think maybe that's why she's thinking about this pre-move. So it's like, I need to get him comfortable with the new nickname because I don't want to be, Shell's Bells to my new group. And I'm just like, Michelle to him, or he calls me Shell or something. But okay, in this instance, you've got a friend, her name's Michelle. She wants a new nickname. What are you? She's like, David, you're a wordsmith. You're a man of many monikers.
That's true.
That this is so perfectly a situation for you to solve because you have all the skill sets, right?
That's true.
So what would you give Michelle as her new nickname? And it could even potentially incorporate the Canadian Rockies.
The Canadian Rockies. Well, this is what I was thinking is it seems to me like she's going for like a fresh
Maple
air.
Michelle.
outdoor type, something simple and short, right? So my initial instinct, and something maybe less feminine, my initial instinct was like a Mick, because I do quite like Mick, or like even like a Mickey if you want to like keep it a bit feminine. But I do like Mick, I think, as a yeah.
And what I like about that is what I like about that line of thinking is that you can now start to pick away even the parts that are in reference to the original name.
Yes.
So you're thinking Mick Jagger, drop the Mick, just call her Jagger.
Jagger, exactly.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Because what that lets you do, I think, is there's a
then we call her
semiotic-
Moves like Jagger, and then her name ends up being Moves. And it's
exactly.
like, your name's Michelle. How the fuck? Why do people call you Moves? And then it's like there's the lineage of the name.
Yeah, there's like a semiotic relationship between the nickname and the person's name. And this to me, honestly, is why so many nicknames don't work, is that there is no, like when I explain DMAC, it has like a meaning. Like it means like it's not, Raven doesn't, you know what I mean? Like there's
nothing to overlap in the Venn diagram. Yes,
exactly.
Like Raven is its own thing. David is its own thing. And it's like, this is oil and water, dude. Like these weren't mixing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The other option that I always say to people if they want to change what people call them is like, is your middle name any good? Because I like someone who rocks like
okay,
rocks with
again,
middle name.
And this is a great opportunity for all of us to learn delicate ways to say things. Right. So maybe someone who is feeling a little fragile about their sense of self and their identity, we don't say to them, and with this look and tone, I don't know, is your middle name any good?
Well, is it?
You know? Can we use it? Your name's what? Michelle. Yuck. What's the middle name at least?
Yeah.
Give me something to work with here.
Give me something to work
that's
with here. Come on. But yeah, I guess my point was going to be just to tie this one off is like, there will be moments in your life where someone asks you to do something difficult and like try and rewire your brain to call them something different or use different pronouns. And it really is the easiest thing in the world. If you're empathetic about it and you do your best, they're never going to be offended. Don't worry about getting it wrong. Just try your best. And be supportive of those people and help them if you can, you know.
Right.
It's the easiest thing in the world.
Let's be, and particularly in our relationships, let's be supportive of our partners, okay?
Yeah.
Crazy concept, but like if your missus wants to go by a different name, fucking get on board, man. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Get in the lab with her and figure out the best name.
See, I couldn't be involved in that process because it's like I would feel too much of like that's a lot of pressure to put on someone and then what if they ended up using one that I came up with, I would just feel I just wouldn't feel like that sincere. I'd feel like maybe they're like, well, you know, he helped me pick a name or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like even though they're like, no, I love that one. It's still in my mind. I would be like, I don't like that you've chosen the one that I came up with because I feel like I've maybe forced that in a way. You know what I mean?
That's so interesting because I would not have that insecurity at all. I'd be like,
you'd be like, yeah, sure. Here are the names.
Yeah, I fucking killed it. What do you want? I think part of that is like as a writer, you have to develop a really. I'm going to use the word strong, not large. You have to develop a really strong ego because people say the craziest shit about what you write on the internet.
Right.
The 1-star reviews and the emails you get.
Sure, but like. But when we're talking about like a fantasy made up, you know, like land or whatever, like not the same as like, this is the love of my life. 18 years strong, me and this person together. And every single time I refer to them, I have to call them the name that I came up with.
Okay. Now that you say it like that, maybe it's because I've been single for a really long time that I don't have that context. Because now that you've said that out loud, that does make me sound insane.
My takeaways for Michelle, I'm so sorry, but they're all going to be like roller derby adjacent names. Hell's Bells, obviously.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Which lady you can probably just go by Bells if you want.
Oh, I like that.
Lineages to the name, you know, you can really take it. You can add on, you can shave off. I had Shell Razor. My personal favorite, Shelter Skelter. Pretty good.
Oh, I hate that.
Shelter Skelter. Helter Skelter.
I don't like that at all. It's too
Manson.
Too much going on in the mouth.
Murders.
Too much going on in the mouth.
Yeah, but it'll be like for those who know. You know what I mean? And they go, and then you go, let's go creepy crawling. And then that's how you make friends, dude. And now we're going around and we're meeting the neighbors, obviously, because we're breaking into their cars and we're just sitting in them until they discover us. You know, cool, actually. There's more to that, actually. I like that. Thank you for pointing that out, David. Michelle Mayhem, pretty lame. Sounds like a wrestling name. Mish the Menace. You could go by Mish.
I don't mind Mish. Mish is good. I still think that your initial pitch of like, you know, going with like a Jagger or like a Moves or something is like really fun.
Dear David, my boyfriend and I are in a committed relationship and plan on getting married soon.
Okay.
His family and I recently attended an out-of-town party with old family friends. His mom kept introducing me as, quote, John's friend rather than his girlfriend, right? And we're talking about getting married. So here's John's friend. When I confronted her about it, she said it was just the proper thing to do because we aren't married and that people could infer that we are a couple when they talk to us.
What?
We are a couple. They would be inferring correctly.
Okay.
I can't help but feel that she doesn't want or see us together for long. Should I worry?
That is suspicious behavior, to be fair. That is weird.
Ew, dude, boy mom? Ugh, is it a boy mom sit?
Now, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, there's some territory here that could be very unpleasant, depending on the nature of this relationship.
Some Oedipician territory.
Yeah, that
you know
sounded weird, but I didn't mind it. The challenge with this is just really dangerous territory for this relationship. Because if you go, I want you, if you make a big deal out of this, she's going to think that's petty of you. And that like your eye isn't on the prize. You shouldn't care about what people call you and think about you. You should just be, you know, be in this relationship with her boy, her son, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
just to run this past you, I shouldn't do this, right? So the mum goes, oh, and this is John's friend, Mary. I shouldn't, as Mary, then go, oh, I'm so sorry. Have you taken your meds this morning? Sometimes we forget. I'm John's girlfriend. And then you introduce Mary. Talks about marriage on the horizon, so fiance soon, but you didn't hear it from me. Do you need some water?
Now, you made that a little... That might have been a bit too combative, but you're not far off what I think the actual solution is, which is like...
Okay!
Hear me out.
Okay!
Because I think there's a coy way that you can do this that will eventually embarrass the mother enough.
Perfect. Hit me with it. What's the coy way?
So she, you walk up to some people and she goes, oh, this is my son, Dylan, and his friends, Katie. And then you, as Katie, go, you kind of laugh and you go, like, you know, girlfriend, as you introduce yourself or whatever. Like, I think that if you have sufficient charisma, you could pull that off. I couldn't.
Dangerous. That's a dangerous variable to hinge this on.
Because I think
my charisma level?
Yeah.
Damn. Also, just quickly for the scenario that you painted there, my assumption was me and the mum maybe making the rounds, doing an intro, purposefully getting it wrong. If she's doing the wrong intro on me and my boyfriend, her son, doesn't make some attempt to correct that in the moment, is that not telling me something?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Are you not like, what the fuck,
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? I didn't even think
your
about
girlfriend, it seems that two people have forgotten.
Ah, man. That is...
Oh, I just really don't want to, like, upset my mom and blah, blah, blah. Yuck!
I didn't even think about that. What's the boyfriend doing in this? Where's he at? Where's his head at?
Cat got your fucking tongue, Dylan.
Dude, this is a bad man. I hate to tell you, this is a bad man.
The flags have been raised and their color be red.
Now, can I ask a question, which is the issue here? So one of the things that some of my friends who've been in really long-term relationships do is when they have an issue with the other person's parent, they'll ask their partner, they'll be like, hey, this is an issue I'm having. Is this something that you would like to talk to them about, or should I talk to them about? Because you know how, like, you kind of sometimes know how your parents are going to react to things because you have a bit more context.
I understand what you're saying. I also personally find that dynamic quite strange. You've got a problem with this other person, but like you're middlemaning an argument or some kind of rift between family members or whatever. I would imagine, obviously, that happens all the time because it's like, well, yeah, that is going to be, there's going to be the intermediary who's going to try to be playing both sides. Not a great situation to be in, obviously.
But if the boyfriend's not jumping in, though, that does suggest to me that maybe it's either the mother doesn't like you, or behind closed doors, the boyfriend has been like, yeah, I don't know about her type of vibe. You know what I
mean? I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
This must have happened enough. I'm just picturing the like, you know, these like out of town trips where it's like you're always staying in like a shitty like bedroom from like someone's childhood or like a hotel where you're not sleeping properly. I'm just imagining her like lying awake while fucking Dylan's sleeping beside her, and she's just like, she fucking did it again.
While Dylan's on the phone to his mum, like, no, yeah, I've talked to her about it. Yeah, I know. I know that we keep introducing her as my friend rather than my girlfriend. And yeah, I'll try and talk to her about the awful looks that she gives us in a social setting when we call her my friend. Yeah. I'll have a chat with her about it. Like, what are we doing? The problem is you and your weird mum.
Yeah.
You and your weird relationship with your weird mum. Tell mum to knock it the fuck off.
Tell mum to knock it off. Like, that's also not a complicated conversation to have with your mother either.
I want you to know Amy's fucking response here, because this is a Dear Amy, obviously.
Oh, what did Amy suggest?
Amy says, many people don't like being labeled as girlfriend, and John's mother was simply allowing you to fill in the context.
Hey,
if
Amy?
You read all sorts of hidden messages into what is actually a very polite and friendly introduction, you're going to have a very long and dissatisfied road ahead. Amy's lost it. Amy needs to be fired immediately from this column.
Someone comes to you and they say, this thing happened. It really bothered me. Should I be worried about it? And her response is, just don't be bothered.
I honestly think that Dear Amy needs to be retitled to Dear Boomer, because this is the most insane boomer level take I have ever fucking heard. Maybe people don't like labels, and the mum's just introducing her in a way that allows her to provide context to a group of strangers that we're familiar with, and she isn't. She's a guest in our house. What are you talking about?
She's doing the introduction. Her job is to provide them the context. That's literally what introductions are, is you go, this is John, and this is how he relates to the situation we're in.
This is Mark. I will let Mark now inform you on the relationship that Mark and I have. She's my mother. Thank you, son Mark. This is now friend of Mark. Maybe you'd like to introduce yourself. Yeah, I'm Mary. I'm Mark's girlfriend. Thank you so much. What?
This is like incomprehensible. Like if
Has Amy, are you reading this? And this is how I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Amy's response is, I think Amy's done this.
I think that's what I'm going to say.
I think Amy has absolutely committed this atrocity before, right? And now this exact question has come in, and she's like, no, you know what? Maybe it was just allowing for context to be filled in. And if you're going to read into everything, well, it's going to be a long road ahead, lady. It's like,
fucking crazy.
Okay, that's weirdly specific and defensive.
It's very
for
defensive.
Someone who is supposed to be like a non-biased sort of third party observer here.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've lived this, and I think you're the mum in this instance.
100%. Do you think that the kind of intrusive thought I keep having about this is like, does the dynamic of this changes if she's introducing them both to someone for the first time? Because then it would be normal to be like, oh, this is Katie and John, my son and his girlfriend. The thing that makes this especially weird is that presumably he knows these people. It's a family gathering or whatever. So to not go, because they're walking up, and to not go, oh, this is Dylan's girlfriend, Katie. It's so insane. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this mother, you know that she's
You're a maniac.
She's been at the fucking salon gossiping to her fucking girlfriend and been like, ugh, he's dating Katie. She's not good enough for him anyway.
There is that boy mum sort of vibe to it where it's no one's good enough for my sweet angel prince.
Yeah.
So, whether conscious or not, in this case, I think fully conscious of what she's doing, you're introducing that element. And again, even when you just played it out, right? And you tried to play it out by introducing them or beginning a conversation or an interaction with someone that was maybe outside of the normal. You were trying to be like, okay, well, maybe it doesn't apply to all context. So you tried to reinvent the context. And even in doing that, you still defaulted to calling her his girlfriend. And then it dawned on you like, oh my God, this is psychotic to actually not do this. And then you have to think how rage-inducing that is. That's the first group. And then the second group of people, and then the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. You know what I mean? Like, and each time it's like, are you fucking? Oh, so you're just doing this. So you're just doing this. Okay, okay.
I also have to know what the body language situation is in this situation, because she's saying, oh, they can infer from context clues or whatever. Are they holding hands? Does he have his arm around her? Does she have her arm around him? Like, what is the? There is a situation that I can imagine where these two are like fully in love or whatever, and they're all over each other the whole time. And it's still crazy because then it would be like, this is his friend. And it's like, well, why didn't you just say girlfriend? They're clearly in love with each other. I can't make it work, James.
Exactly. And that's because, and the girlfriend works great as a coverall for whether they are standing together holding hands and you don't have to say friend and look like a lunatic. And it also works for if you're engaged in a conversation and you see them engaged in a conversation across the room and then you go, oh, I'm actually here with my son and his girlfriend. Oh, they're both over there. You wouldn't go, oh, my son and the friend that he's brought with him, this mistress of his, this succubus that he's brought to this gathering is his friend Mary, I meant to say, and
what's
totally
the
have normal
threshold?
feelings about that.
Here's an actual question and a normal one at that. What's the threshold where it starts becoming a problem that she keeps referring to as friend? Because I've been in situations where I've brought a girl to something.
The first introduction.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I've been in situations where I've taken a girl, and because you've been in a relationship for a very long time, this maybe isn't on your radar, but there are times when you're figuring out what the vibe is with someone, and it might not be the case that you introduce them to someone as a girlfriend, but it's obvious to someone else that you're going out, or you've been seeing each other, or you're maybe thinking, like, there are situations where you might be in that in-between space, and there is a threshold where it then becomes rude or obnoxious for someone to introduce, like, I'm trying to think of an example I can give without doxing anyone. I was at my mum's birthday I didn't want to, because, there, not that any of my ex-girlfriends listen to this, but I don't want to make put anyone on blast. But, I was at mum's birthday, whenever it was, and she had this big party with all her friends, and I brought a girl with me who wasn't my girlfriend yet, but we'd been seeing each other a bit. And we weren't sure what the vibe was, if it was casual, if it was we just kind of hadn't figured that out yet. And when I was introducing her to people, I wasn't saying, this is my friend, like Katie or whatever.
You said, this is Katie. This is my date?
Yeah, exactly.
This is my date, Katie?
Yeah. And it wouldn't, and it wasn't weird because I wasn't like, I also didn't
How did you say it? How did you say it?
I just said their name. I was just like, oh, like, this is Katie, or fuck, maybe I did say, this is my friend Katie. I'm trying to think. I wouldn't have done that. I would have just said, this is Katie.
Are you certain?
Oh, I could text Patrick and find out. Are you
certain? Okay.
Actually, no, I know you know what it was? I wouldn't have had this problem because she was very extroverted, so she would have been introducing herself.
Oh, okay. Right.
I'm thinking about when Patrick and his partner arrived and they came over and I was like, oh, this is Patrick, like my buddy and his partner back. And then she definitely would have, and I'd be like, oh, this is, and then she would have introduced herself and cut me off. I'm pretty sure that's what would have happened.
Right.
She's very outgoing.
Interesting that she happened to cut you off right as you just moments ago were tussling with the thought, did I refer to her as my friend, Katie? So it's interesting that the cutoff point happened immediately before that labeling.
Might tell you something about why we're not together, potentially.
Is it weird to say my Katie? This is my Katie?
Only if there's another Katie involved. Or there's another Katie in the mix.
Very good. Very okay. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Then it's like this is my Katie. Haven't met the other one yet. I heard that she's in here.
Because you famously collect friends with the same name. You know what I mean? So you might
just makes it easier.
Yeah, you might have the need to qualify occasionally which one you're referring to.
That's how I introduce my friends, though.
Yeah. What, you go, this is Matt number 2?
No, I go, this is my Matt. I think with a Matt, you have to say my Matt, okay? Because there are so many Matts, you know what I mean? So I want it to be clear, like, this is my one. You might
crazy.
know a Matt. You might know a Matt or even some Matts, a gaggle of Matts.
But they're going to know it's not their Matt.
I know this Matt. That's my Matt.
They're going to know it's not their Matt because they're looking at Matt. And they know that that's not their Matt. You're insane. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about now.
Matt would be my Matt. And I think he would agree with me, and that just makes sense. You know what I mean? If you were introducing someone, and this is someone that you obviously have to have a very long, deep connection and relationship with or whatever, would you ever say, this is my Ruby? You know what I mean?
I would know.
You might know of other Rubies. This is my one. We've been through some shit, and this is my one. I'm their David. Just like, that's my Matt. I'm his James. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you actually have talked me around to this because I'm almost certain I've referred to you. Now, it wouldn't be in introducing someone, but in referring to, if I was telling a story,
absolutely.
I would clarify and I would say, I would say James, my James.
Yeah. Okay,
I 100% do that. I wouldn't do it in an introduction, but 100% when I'm referring to people, if I know, like, one of my brothers is called James. So if I'm telling a story and I say James, I go my James to mean you. And if I'm referring to him, I say Jimmy. And like, that's the distinction.
Okay.
Right. So you're 100% right. I do that.
But it's not, you don't throw that around. You don't throw that around willy nilly. You do not throw that around willy nilly. You know what I mean? You have a small, I can't be like, this is my Matt. This is one of my Matts.
Right.
You get one. Like you just said, you know more than one James. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You get one. Does that make sense?
It does. Can I tell you a scenario where this has become really problematic in my family? When I was in the UK last year, I have a cousin, Charlie, who we're very, very similar. We get along really, really well. And I have another cousin called Oliver. And Oliver is an Ollie.
Okay.
So Ollie.
Like a Sykes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's Ollie Sykes, not Oliver Sykes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I go to Charlie's place in London for the night, and she introduces me to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend is also an Ollie. So I had the thought just then of like, well, which Ollie would she say my Ollie? And she would mean the romantic partner, I think.
You would assume, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's also situations where you might have two, but you would eventually change. One would become not my, you know what I mean?
Of course. And this brings us back to, we were talking about the 90s making a resurgence, early 2000s aesthetic making a resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
This is, these are the same sort of conversations that you painfully have to have with friends depending upon how big your top 8 was.
It's very
back
true.
in the MySpace days, I was only doing a top 4.
You know, and
that was,
wow.
I was doing a top 4, yeah.
Can I tell you I was doing a top 6? I don't know why I picked 6, but I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I picked 4 for aesthetic reasons. I think I liked how it looked better.
That sounds like you, to be fair.
Entirely driven by the design of the page on that one. I went, 4 just looks...
4 looks crisp.
I like the layout of that. I like there's something about the UI UX of 4 that's doing it for me.
You couldn't have known back then that you'd be like destined for like design and like aesthetic, but
exactly.
It was already there. It was in your DNA.
Of course, it was in my DNA from the beginning, and it's those early important days, when you're developing taste, and taste was being developed on Thomas's MySpace, using that sort of vibe, right, and imposing that here, like you have the top 4. So, like I said, for me, so many fucking Matts, Matt C, Matt R.
You're lousy with Matts.
There's a Matt B, Matt P. Like, There were so many mats. My cup runneth over with mats, you know?
true.
Can't move for mats.
Oh, you're fucking lousy with them, you know?
Decisions have to be made, okay? And those decisions do get displayed publicly and socially, like in an instance where you're saying, this is my mat. I'm aware that I know 6 mats, but I have this one as my one.
This one is mine. Now, is the middle ground then for this situation that she should, if she's uncomfortable with the girlfriend thing for whatever reason, should she be saying, this is his Katie?
Okay, yes.
Is that the middle ground?
Exactly. This is my... Well...
Then it sounds possessive.
Dude, and it does. And also, I don't think you can prescribe that for another. It has to be, this is my, and it can only ever be in that context.
Oh,
I
really?
can never go, you know the nature of a top 4, a top 6, a top 8. Sometimes it can be ever in fluctuation. And that's what this is. You know, it's living, it's breathing, it is life. You know, it's relationships, it's identity. And it's like, you might be my Matt. This is a bad example because that my Matt would always be my Matt, okay? Even when he passes on, he would still be my Matt, and I would still refer to him in present tense, okay?
You planning to knock Matt off, dude?
Absolutely not. I plan to protect him with every fiber of my being,
is
okay?
Matt gonna have an accident, dude?
Yeah, so that's a bad example, but it's like, what I'm saying is like, that could be in fluctuation. I don't want to be at a party and go like, oh, that's David and that's his Katie, because like that might not be his Katie anymore. You know,
right?
What if I'm talking to a group of people who have already talked to you and they've gone, that's not his Katie?
Yeah, but in this situation that this person is asking about, they know it's his Katie. Like, that's confirmed data. She knows they're together.
Well, no, you actually posited. You introduced that piece of information, that variable, the boyfriend could be having a conversation with the mum behind the scenes that the girlfriend's not privy to, saying, hey, I'm not really feeling this. And that's why the mum is saying, that's just his friend. That's not his girlfriend. And they're definitely not talking about getting engaged soon.
Damn. I think that honestly... You got to break up with this guy. This is too hard to solve.
Break up now.
You got either his relationship with his mum is fucked, and that's going to be a problem later. Or he's not serious about you, or he's having doubts. Either way, if you can't communicate with him about it, then you need to fucking break up.
2026, get you a partner that makes you your name. You know, and it's a hard one to remember.
What a sentence.
It's a hard one to remember.
That one's going on the t-shirt.
Aren't the most important things, you know? Aren't the most important things the hardest to remember, the hardest to wrap our heads around?
You've gone wrong. Like you've gone sour like milk now. You've gone off.
Well, David, I'm appreciative of you today for coming and hanging out, for giving a couple of regular guys, gals, non-binary pals some advice.
It's true.
Wise words to live by. And I appreciate you for coming and hanging out, you know? And if you've got any weird or wonderful articles, news stories, snippets, stories, findings, personal tales,
if you need help,
crazy interactions, okay? Shoot me an email, oneweirdpodcast@gmail.com, or leave a message voicemail style, speakpipe.com/weird but wonderful. But if you want to keep up to date with me, you can find me at my pixel persona on Instagram and TikTok, or at One Weird Podcast on Instagram and TikTok for the show. You can subscribe to the YouTube, get yourself the video version of the show each and every time one goes up, youtube.com/at
you gotta
wonderful.
Do it. You gotta watch the video. It's the right way, let me tell you.
And if we could saddle you with one more chore, could you go to iTunes and Spotify, wherever you get podcasts, and leave a rating or review, because it helps people like you find this thing that we're doing here. David, speaking of people being able to find people in places, where can people find you?
Follow me on Blue Sky at DC McNeil Writes. I'm kind of trying to get back into microblogging a little bit. Most of what I write there ends up becoming an article at zeroindent.com. And I want to plug something that we've started doing. We're bringing back an old... What a coincidence, James. We're bringing back an old show of ours, similar to what we're doing now.
The Advisory?
No.
Absolutely not, unfortunately. I'm so sorry to the one person.
To the one fucking
that every time we put out a video on the internet,
it's more than one person now. I get
Bring back the
comments
advisory.
on
Who is that? Cocoa Bucks?
Cocoa Bucks.
Very
That's
funny.
one of them. I get comments on YouTube posts for Zero Indent saying bring back the advisory. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're never going to do it, and you can't make us.
Did we not just kind of bring it back
Nope. This was totally different.
in
This
spirit?
No, we were
This
helping.
was different.
We were
Okay, yeah.
helping. We
Of
weren't
course.
advising. It's very different.
Absolutely. This was a Dear David. They are completely
Yes.
unrelated.
I want to plug, we're bringing back Hat Boys, youtube.com/zeroindent. We are playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a very funny time. And I just want to say, you get this podcast for free wherever you're listening to it. You owe James a 5-star review. Okay. I'll be brave enough to say it.
Oh, combative.
I'm calling you out. Go to Apple Podcasts, go to iTunes, write a 5-star review, say something funny, say something nice. But if you're listening to this, I implore you to please do that.
And from me, I just want to say, while I agree with everything that David said just there, it did come across as violent. So not violent. I just want to like soften it in a way.
I'll come and get you if you don't do it. I'll find you. I'll get you in the real world if you don't do it.
Okay. I was trying to put a bow on it, and now I feel like I need to call someone. So David says that, and my addition to that would probably be if you've got time.
Even if you don't,
if you've got time,
do it now. Do it right. You've got time. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you're doing the laundry? Just pick up your phone.
We'll fucking wait.
A few moments later.
100%. Do you think that was enough time for them to have done it by now?
If they haven't done it by now, I will come get them. So,
all right. You got Queensland's Joe Goldberg after you now. Sorry, he warned you. I'll see you next week. Or maybe we won't.
Maybe we
fucking won't.
Yeah.
Maybe David gets you before then. But you had time, and I guess you should have heeded that warning when you had the chance. So again, see you next week, or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
So.